everyone, this is People in Power, and I'm Summer El-Shahat. On today's programme, the price of growth.
It's better to die thirsty than to drink this water. We're all drinking a disease. We told the local authorities that our cattle and goats died due to this water, but nobody helped. We are tired of complaining.
When most of us think of Ethiopia, images of drought and famine often spring to mind. However, what few realise is that the country is currently experiencing phenomenal economic growth. Unfortunately, this has come at a cost to the environment, and particularly Ethiopia's poor who depend on it, like those that live on the shores of Lake Koka. The lake lies 75 kilometres southeast of the capital city, Addis Ababa, and it's a crucial water source for thousands of people.
Ethiopia is in the middle of an economic boom. In the capital, Addis Ababa, an astonishing amount of construction is occurring. Everywhere, luxury apartments, shopping centres and skyscrapers are on the rise. But this progress, brought about by the mushrooming economy, is having very real environmental and social costs far from the city's brand new offices and bustling cafes. This is Lake Koka. It was once the source of clean and fresh water for the thousands who live around it. But today, it's highly polluted and carpeted in toxic algae.
Makida, Kadiri, Tairi, Sultani, Kasimi, Nasha, Khalid.
These are the names of the 6 children Amina has lost. She and thousands of others in the Amude community rely solely on Lake Koka for their drinking water. She believes it's the lake that's killing them.
I gave birth to 9 children. 6 of them died. 3 survived. My husband also died. I have lost 7 members of my family. They were all vomiting and had diarrhea with blood in it. We visited a health center and were told the problem was associated with water. I feel sad about my dead children. I lie awake at night thinking of them. I now worry whether my remaining children will survive. I don't even know if I will survive. Except for God, we have no hope.
The transformation of Lake Koka began in 1957 with the damming of the Awash River to create a hydroelectric power plant. Since then, a number of polluting factories and flower farms have sprung up around the lake and along the tributaries of the Awash, a process that has dramatically increased over the last 10 years.
The main problem here is the water. People are getting sick. Everyone around here uses this water. There is no other water. Almost 17,000 people use this water. They come from 10 kilometers away and use this water. The water smells. Even if you boil it, it doesn't change the color. It's hard to drink. Even if you are thirsty, it smells. The people here have great potential, and we are losing them, especially the children. I'm very upset. If I had the ability to do something, I would, but I can't. I can't do anything.
Like most rural communities in Ethiopia, the people in Amude suffer from a range of poverty-related illnesses. Sanitation, for instance, is poor. But district health worker Tekalain Mizana believes that Amude's residents are suffering far more than most.
People from the Amude are more sick than the other people who are not using that water. Maybe it will be about 2/3 more around Amuddin than the other side. Most of them have stomach disease, and even diarrhea is common. They are drinking the water that is contaminated from the factory, so they are ill from that chemical, I believe. And also my colleagues, everybody, every health worker around this area believes this one. We know this is real, but it's not tested, it's not proved.
A scientific paper published in 2003 found alarmingly high concentrations of chromium, iron, nickel and lead in watermelons grown around the lake. Chromium is an inherent byproduct of the leather tanning process and a known carcinogen. On the opposite side of the lake to Amadei sits Ethiopia's biggest factory, the Ethiopia Tannery Share Company. The factory covers a 65-hectare site, employs about 800 people and produces goods to the value of $25 million per year, which amounts to 7% of Ethiopia's total foreign revenue. Local people believe that discharge from the tannery is polluting the lake water. This is a farmer whose cattle graze near the factory's effluent stream.
What comes from this factory has killed the cattle. It burns the plants. It's not good for harvesting. It's not good for people either.
From our point of view, we're very closely linked, obviously, to Lake Koka and the local people. I think there is a danger that you associate any issues or problems with the fact that there is a tannery there without any actual formal evidence. Saying it's all associated with a tannery in the northwest that we are associated with is probably incorrect. That's not to say that we're saying there aren't some issues. I don't know if there are or there aren't. But I think from our point of view, it is clearly not from our operation. If I was looking to do an investigation, I would certainly look at where the river comes into the lake. I'm aware of just as many reports about the river before it gets anywhere near the lake, which are equally emotive about contamination.
There is no definitive proof that the Ethiopia tannery is responsible for discharging harmful effluent into the lake. And even if it were, it is by no means the only potential cause of pollution. A number of factories and flower farms line the banks of the Awash River and its tributaries, which feed into Lake Koka. They too discharge their effluent into the water. Without long-term scientific and medical testing, it's impossible to gauge the effects chemical effluent is having on the population. However, some of the nutrients in the effluent, like nitrates and phosphates, are probably causing the growth of the green algae which coats large areas of the lake. We sent a sample of the algae to Professor Witten at the University of Durham, a world authority on the subject.
The sample you showed me is a microcystis. Microcystis is the alga that occurs in lakes where nutrient levels get extremely high. Probably much of it is associated with agricultural runoff, human sewage, manufacturing effluents. All these are sources of microcystis. Microcystis is one of the most notorious algae. They include a number of toxins, and they're some of the most toxic molecules known to human beings. Often the first experience people have is severe gastroenteritis, but in general it's very severe damage to the liver and liver cancer. This looks to me a very, very severe case, one of the worst I've seen pictures of anywhere in the world.
This is Kadir, a farmer living on the banks of the lake. He lost his wife to liver problems only a few weeks before we arrived.
My wife was told she had a problem with her liver. We thought that the problem arose from the drinking water. We are all internally sick. It's better to die thirsty than to drink this water. We are all drinking a disease. We told the local authorities that our cattle and goats died due to this water, but nobody helped. We are tired of complaining. We're now just waiting to perish.
Thousands of people like Kadir rely on this now toxic lake as their sole source of water, and yet their calls for action have been repeatedly ignored. The Ethiopian government has environmental laws in place, so how is this being allowed to happen?
We have good environmental policy, yet what could be said is they could not be beyond on paper.
There is no any institution in Ethiopia, in case, for example, which makes those companies accountable for their action. That means no one is going to the textiles or to the foundries or to all these mills around there and tell them that, look, you are doing wrong. Of course, they know they are doing wrong.
This fact has come to the attention of Addis Ababa-based NGO Action Professionals Association for the People, who took the government's Environmental Protection Agency to court for failing to prevent the large-scale pollution of the Akaki and Mojo rivers that feed into Lake Koka.
The Akaki Mojo River basin was polluted and almost dead because of the different pollutants which have been released to this river basin for many years. The people around this river basin are very much affected as a result. We claimed that the environmental authority is not discharging its responsibility as required by the law. We hope we'll get a ruling to our satisfaction, and we are hoping to establish a precedent in this regard.
The story of Lake Koka is one of many similar stories being played out across Ethiopia. As development ramps up, so too does pollution.
I can't have words to express how I love my country. But if the pattern doesn't change, I am very much worried we will be losing what we have and we will be suffering until the extent when environment will be damaging until we are extinct.
After the break, the continuing cost of development.